Imagine being lost in a freezing, frozen wasteland at minus 37 degrees, with no radio, no fuel, and only a single packet of biscuits. To survive, you have to build wooden shoes from your plane's seat and make the ultimate gamble: burn your only warm jacket just to get a passing ship's attention. This isn't a movie. This is the unbelievable true story of 3 men who fooled death in 1942. In 1942, during the darkest days of World War II, 3 Canadian Air Force crew members embarked on what was supposed to be a routine mission. Their task was simple: fly a military aircraft from Canada to Great Britain. However, shortly after takeoff, disaster struck. A thick, impenetrable fog completely blanketed the sky. One by one, their vital instruments failed. The radio went dead, and the navigation system broke down. Suddenly, the 3 men found themselves utterly lost in an endless sea of clouds, with absolutely no idea where they were. As the hours ticked away, desperation grew. They climbed higher to escape the fog, but the blinding whiteness only swallowed them deeper into confusion. After 8 agonizing hours, the fuel gauge dropped to critical. The pilot, Nash, looked at his 2 companions and uttered words of chilling reality. I think today our names are written among the dead. With no communication, no navigation tools, and an empty fuel tank, Nash made a desperate decision to crash land the plane blindly into the unknown. As they neared the ground, they realized they were crashing into a vast, desolate, and snow-covered wilderness. Miraculously, the plane made a safe landing on the thick snow. Outside, the temperature was a bone-chilling minus 37 degrees Celsius. Overjoyed by the miracle landing, the co-pilots praised Nash for his exceptional skill. But the relief was short-lived. When Nash opened the aircraft door to inspect the surroundings, a massive wall of snow instantly buried him up to his shoulders. His teammates quickly dragged him back inside. They realized they had no choice but to stay within the frozen metal shell of the plane. Inside, the cold was brutal. All their food and drinks froze solid, leaving them with nothing but a packet of biscuits. In a desperate bid for warmth, they smoked 25 cigarettes, but it did nothing against the freezing air. To keep their blood flowing and prevent their bodies from freezing stiff, they walked continuously inside the cramped cabin. When movement failed, they retreated to the back of the plane. They devised a survival strategy. They layered themselves on top of one another, taking turns at the bottom to absorb body heat, and wrapped themselves in their unfolded parachutes. This shared warmth was the only thing that kept them alive through the roaring winds of the first night. When morning broke, they tried to open the door, but it was completely frozen shut. Knowing their food was scarce, they rationed the biscuits, surviving on just 1 single biscuit per person every 24 hours. By the 3rd day, the storm eased slightly. They checked an emergency device, which revealed that the nearest human settlement was 167 kilometers away. Their only hope was to walk, but the door remained a stubborn barrier. They spent the entire day desperately banging on the door. At noon, a heavy rainfall began, which they celebrated, knowing it would melt the suffocating snow. Finally, after hours of grueling effort, the door swung open. Going outside, however, meant sinking into deep snow. Showing incredible resourcefulness, they used a small screwdriver found in the plane to dismantle wooden supply boxes and create homemade snowshoes. When they ran out of wood for the last shoe, they didn't hesitate. They tore apart the pilot's seat to salvage the remaining wood. Equipped with their wooden shoes, an emergency life raft to help slide over the snow, their rationed biscuits, and emergency flare pistols, bullelights. They set off toward the distant ocean. Their progress was agonizingly slow. After walking for hours with the plane still in sight, a torrential rainstorm hit, soaking them to the bone. Freezing and exhausted, they were forced to retreat to the aircraft. They left the door open, terrified that if they closed it, it would freeze shut forever. Despair began to creep in. For 7 straight days and nights, the intense cold and howling wind made sleep completely impossible. By the 9th day, their biscuit supply was nearly gone. They reduced their food intake to sharing a single biscuit among the 3 of them every 24 hours. On the 12th day, a spark of hope arrived. A search plane spotted them and dropped a large supply crate. Inside were fresh meals labeled for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, warm jackets, snowshoes, walking sticks, a rope to tie themselves together for safety, and a note that read, "Keep walking straight toward the ocean. A rescue ship with doctors is waiting for you." That night, wearing dry clothes and fueled by fresh food, they slept for the very first time since getting lost. They managed just 1 hour of sleep before another heavy rain soaked everything again. Hugging each other tightly for warmth under their torn parachute canopy, they waited for dawn. The next day, they finally reached the edge of the ocean. In the distance, they saw the rescue ship. Overjoyed, they screamed, waved their hands, and fired flares. But the ship was too far, and the crew did not see them. As dusk fell, the ship began to sail away, assuming the men had already perished. Seeing their rescue slip away, a crushing wave of hopelessness hit them. Their bodies were bleeding and raw from the severe frostbite, and screaming had only worsened their wounds. In that final moment of survival, Nash proposed a radical idea. "Let's cut up our warm jackets and burn them. The thick smoke will catch their attention." The other 2 hesitated, terrified. "If they don't see the smoke, we will freeze to death without our jackets." But Nash insisted, "We are going to die here anyway. Give me the jackets." They cut the wet jackets, and after an hour of desperate attempts, they successfully lit a fire. The thick smoke billowed into the sky. On the horizon, the ship fired a flare back, a signal that meant, "We see you." Because of the thick ice between the ship and the shore, the ship messaged them to walk further south where the water was clear. They spent the night without jackets in the freezing cold, unable to sleep, waiting for daylight. At dawn, they walked south for 6 grueling hours until they finally reached the rescue boat. Hand in hand, they were pulled aboard. It had been 14 days of pure hell. Amazingly, once inside the warm cabins, the men could not sleep. Their bodies were trapped in survival mode. Even after Nash was given a strong sedative and slept for an hour, he woke up to find his comrades still awake, talking. In fact, none of them slept fully until they reached their hometown. The aftermath of their journey was long and difficult. They required extensive medical treatment and psychological therapy to overcome the severe trauma and shock. The extreme cold had permanently altered their bodies. Even during the hot summer months, they still had to wear thick jackets because they constantly felt cold. When later interviewed and asked what kept them alive during those 14 terrifying days, their answers revealed the true anchor of human survival. Nash said, "I kept thinking of my wife and my little boy, Every time I wanted to give up, their faces reminded me to keep fighting. The second man shared, "I love my mother and father so much." I kept telling myself that I would live to see them again. The third man explained, "My family depends entirely on me." I kept thinking, if I die here, who will take care of them? I had to survive for them. Against all mathematical odds, 3 men walked out of a minus 37 degrees Celsius wasteland, armed with nothing but wooden shoes, a few biscuits, and an unbreakable love for their families. If you enjoy real stories like this, subscribe for more. Thanks.